Hi, welcome. I've got some books here on my channel. It's Michelle Mould here, and I've got 6 books for us to have a little look at. These are the most recent books that I got, and it's going to be like a flip through, I suppose. So I'm going to start with the biggest one, which has got a shine on it. We'll tilt it. Um, it's called The Most Beautiful Villages of Normandy by Hugh Palmer, and it's published by Thames and Hudson. Now, I got this from a second-hand bookshop, so I think it was World of Books. But there are lots of second-hand bookshops out there that hopefully online and hopefully locally. So this might be one that you want to keep your eye open for. It was published in, let's just see, 2002. So, yeah, 2002. Obviously, Normandy is quite a big region of open country and woodland in France. So I'm hoping that there's going to be some beautiful, I might have to do this all tilted because of the shine from the light, but it's quite a dim day, so I need the light on. So here we go. 256 illustrations in colour. And it's broken down by regions within Normandy. And it gives you a little bit of information about the landscape of Normandy. Look at these. I mean, to be honest, I bought it because of the photographs. But, I mean, that would make a gorgeous painting. That would make a gorgeous painting to have a go at and practice. Obviously, there's copyright issues with photos and things that are in books, but you can always write and get permission, or you use it just as inspiration rather than copying exactly. But I think you will see that this is, it's just glorious, glorious photographs. Practice your perspective. And these second-hand books, quite often they're like £5 or less, sometimes a bit more. But look at that sky. I mean, that's a wonderful thing to have a practice at. And, oh, Mont Saint-Michel. Oh, that rings a bell, doesn't it? There we go. That reminds me of, oh, it will come to me, a little place in France that we went to visit. We've been to France 3 or 4 times. And this is obviously the cloisters of somewhere. The cloisters, yes. But I just think the photographs are absolutely stunning, really. All sorts of things to give you an idea and to use bits of practice doing brick walls, practice doing old buildings, boats, different landscapes. I'm not going to flick through the whole thing. Let's just pick out a few pages, but obviously you've also got, you know, some nice gardens. The chateau. Oh, look, that one's got like a moat. And some of these chateaus look very much like our stately homes that we have here in the UK. So there we go. As you can see, it is just full of beautiful photographs. And I just think I was very lucky to find this. And hopefully you can too. So, The Most Beautiful Villages of Normandy by Hugh Palmer, literally just chock-a-block full of the most wonderful photographs to inspire. So let's just pop that one back in there. And then this was also another, oh, did I get this from Amazon? Ooh, anyway, I will try to put links to everything that I have bought, if it's possible, down below in the description. So let's not worry too much where I bought them from for the minute. So, Painting the Mountain Landscape by Eileen Clark. This one was published in 2021. This has got kind of quite glossy pages as well. So fine art is that in which the hand, the head, and the heart of man go together. That's gorgeous, isn't it? I can get that shine off of it for you there. So, as usual, there's always the bit about materials, etc. Then there's a bit about subject matter and composition. So I'm just going to flick through, and these are some of the things that we might need to think about: the time of day and the season, reality versus maybe moving that tree because it's better compositionally wise. What do we select? What do we omit? Thinking about perspective, where's the position of the viewer, balance and symmetry, size and proportion. So there's lots of information around all of that. Even a little bit more around perspective. Then there's a little bit about a studio piece. So I'm guessing this is where it says here, you've hopefully reached this point with an idea, even though it might be in its earliest form, of the kind of mountain scene that you want to paint. And this chapter outlines the groundwork involved in the process of producing a studio piece. Step-by-step exercise at the end of the chapter is a complete piece involving a number of different skill areas. So all the choices that we might have to make, the choice of media, studio lighting, underpainting, transferring the composition, direction of travel. And then here we go. Here is the step-by-step demonstration, which I think is the process that this artist, Eileen Clark, goes through. And it's always interesting to see how our fellow artists go about things. Then we've got a little bit about light and the importance of light in your paintings. Got a miniature demonstration, light on rocks and boulders. So there's nice demonstrations in this one. If you are someone that likes the books that have the demonstrations, the step-by-steps, and you're into sort of mountainscapes, then this one might be of interest for you. They're just very pretty landscapes. And we always, can pick up new ideas. There's the direction of light. We've got the bright light here. We've got dark shadows in these slopey bits, and then bright reflections on the rocks. And we go on to the sky. because obviously the sky is an important part of our painting. Cloudy sky, painting the clouds, another demonstration. Look, storm in the mountains. That is just tremendous, isn't it? Really conveys that. So does that. Really gives it atmosphere. Talking about the choice of colour palette. And then it looks like we've got another demonstration here for a stormy sky, which is broken down over the pages. And then we've got peace and refuge in the mountains. Use of colour, the green and blue palettes, adding the human element, maybe even a human figure. And then we're adding some animals. And so it goes on. It's just full of all these lovely demonstrations. Oh, look at that, the burnt sienna palette, sunsets and the close of day. Wonderful. So I always love it when we get to see these little blobs of paint that are going to be used. So if you like step by step and you like painting the mountain landscape, then perhaps Eileen Clark is the book for you. Now, does it say what she uses? Canvas and board. So I'm guessing she's either oil or acrylic. Acrylic she lists, and oils she lists. So this is more acrylics and oils, but I'm guessing you could use gouache. You could maybe even use the Kuretake Gansai Tambi, and you can adapt it to watercolor as well, I'm guessing. You just have to know how watercolor works. But what a beautiful book. Then we've got this little book called Van Gogh, A Life in Places by Juliet Hesselwood. It's just a small little book here. So it tells you a little bit about Van Gogh. Earlier in his career, as he grappled with the idea of becoming a preacher as well as an artist, Vincent van Gogh attempted portraiture. Oh, his models were poor people of town or countryside. Later, his great achievement was in landscape painting, still life, and further portraits, all closely related to wherever he lived. And he moved from place to place, from his parents' vicarage to the homes of impoverished peasants, from seaside Ramsgate in London to the heights of Montmartre, from the famous Yellow House in the Arles to a hospital, then an asylum in beautiful Provençal countryside. So, and finally, he returned near to Paris to the rural town of Orvers. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing some of those fairly well. So this is about all of the places that he was in and the work that he did while he was there. Van Gogh's quote, "For me, it's a matter of learning to draw well, to be a master either of my pencil or my charcoal or my brush. Once that's achieved, I'll do good things almost no matter where." There he is, Vincent van Gogh, 1887, and at, oh no, that's Theo van Gogh, that would be his brother, and Vincent at age 19. So we've even got this little map of all the places that he resided for whatever reason. So it's a little bit about all the places, but then there are also some of his artworks, and there are lots of lovely quotes in here as well. So it's quite an interesting little book. So you can see the kind of way that it's laid out. And it was very much painting what was around him by the looks of it. So I'm going to be reading this one and hopefully enjoying it, depending on whether you are interested in Van Gogh. I think there might be other books. It might be part of a series. Unicorn Publishing. Does it say whether it was part of a series? Maybe not. It was published in 2019. There we go. Let's move on to a book that I found actually in a little antique shop, believe it or not, while I was away. Landscapes in Watercolor by Robin Capon or Capon. This one, what have we got here? Published by Batsford, and 1992 this was first published. So we've got choosing your equipment, different techniques and effects, finding inspiration, thinking about composition, mood and atmosphere, developing an idea, and then we've got 8 famous landscape painters to have a little look at. So, oh gosh, look at these. Whoa! So, this is by Samuel Palmer. This is by John Sell Cotman. And then the top one is A. Turner. My kind of picture, a gate and a field. So choosing your equipment. And then we've got using different techniques and some thought around colour. Back Gardens of Frinton-on-Sea by Charles Ginner or Ginner. Ink and watercolour on paper. Wow. So although there's all the information here about techniques and things, there are then some examples as well. But as you can see, this is kind of my area. This is what I like. I love this little picture here. This is by Robin Capon in 1989. Using masking fluid, mixed media effects. Wow. Romney Marsh, watercolour gouache and masking fluid. And it was only on £90 paper. Wow. Finding inspiration, types of landscapes, sketching outdoors. Look at this. Giving us that little thumbnail. I need to do more thumbnails like this. This is good. Little notes in the thumbnails. And look, using a grid. Hello. So you can see this developing. Thinking about composition. What is a good composition? And I like this because you've got the different types of composition that you might use. And there we can see using this viewfinder to decide which part of the landscape you're going to do your painting of. Experimenting with composition. So this is the same picture but from a different perspective and different composition. Creating mood and atmosphere. Lovely, lovely little sketches. Oh, that's nice. This is a typical English landscape. There's churches everywhere in the countryside. Developing an idea. That's quite close up of the gate. Wow. And this is following a step by step for that particular one. And then 8 famous landscape painters. Okay, David Cox. Who else have we got? Alexander Cousins, John Varley, Turner, Paul Sandby, Richard Parkes Bonington, Peter de Wint, and Samuel Palmer. And there's a bit about framing your work as well, even. So there we go. Yeah, I think that one was a couple of pounds from a little antique second-hand shop. And then the last 2 are ones that I bought from Waterstones while I was away. This is called Watercolor Landscapes, The Complete Guide to Painting Landscapes by Richard Taylor. And this one is also by Batsford, first published in 2003. So we've got introduction, tools and materials, techniques, hills and mountains, skies and clouds, forests and woodlands, lakes and rivers. And a little introduction. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is more about materials. And we've got our techniques. Using different brushes, blotting and sponging, positive and negative effects. Oh, hills and mountains. That one's gone a bit shiny, hasn't it? There you go. In fact, all of this is a trifle shiny, isn't it? Hopefully you can see enough. What's it like if I do turn the light off? Let me see. There we go. It's not too bad, is it? Keep going then. Glorious colour in that one. Rocks. So, and yet again, we've got these nice little, these are the colours. Huts and shelters. They just always look so lovely in a painting, in a landscape, I think. That's nice. Stone mountain, wooden huts. So there's examples of colours to use, and then an idea of what that might look like. So I think it's really quite nicely laid out above the timberline. Just gorgeous colour. And, you know, there's the technique that was used, the colours and how they mix together. So this is kind of packed full. I love this snow and ice. Snow-capped peaks. And yeah, using different techniques for different ones, practicing your skills. So a natural palette, and What we've got here, sap green, olive green, burnt umber, raw sienna and ultramarine. Okay. And this is a step-by-step, right the way through to the end. And we've got a mountain scene and the colour palette, step by step, all the way through to the end. So we've got lots of these step-by-steps and the colour palette that was used. This is a rock and boulder path. Look at that. So I can see me practicing with these. What a lovely way of doing it with that colour wheel. Snow-covered peaks, fallen snow. That's going to be a nice one to try. So I think you get the idea. We've got all of those demonstrations there. We've got, well, it's just packed full. Look, mixing greys, how to mix greys, using masking fluid, marine skies, atmospheric skies. I mean, this is quite a chunky book. Sunset, cool neutrals, winter sky, summer sky. I mean, it'll take you forever to go through this book. But, I mean, you know, we've even got all the shapes for trees and how to do those. And then moving on to groups of trees. Wow. And we've got this one with all the leaves and the different colours. Spring colours, summer colours, winter colours. Wow. Woodland floor. Practice your skills. Then you've got more of these step-by-steps, each one with a lovely colour wheel for you to have a go at. So, yes, water, mist, waterfalls, lakes, sunsets. I mean, this is chock-a-block full with demonstrations, what colours might be, you know, good to use. It's just a mass of information there. And I think this one, yeah, is going to almost be like a little Bible. It was £14.99, which I don't think is too bad for a huge big book like this. So, just in case this one's shiny, perhaps we'll leave the lighting as it is. This is called 15-Minute Art Watercolor. Learn to paint in 6 steps or less by Gogh Sopek. So here we go. This was published, how long ago? Oh, this is new, 2024. Okay, so this is a fairly new book. And you've got a bit about getting started with the introduction, tools, techniques, colour story and sketching. And then some little helpful things like templates, about the author and acknowledgements. And then you've got all of these projects. So does it say how many projects there are? Maybe it says on the back. 50 beautiful projects. So we've got patterns, we've got clouds, we've got flowers, we've got some animals, we've got some fruit, mushrooms, yeah, marine life. There's all sorts here. I'm not going to read them all out, but let's just take a little look. Oh, that is so pretty. So Gogh Sopek is a freelance illustrator, self-taught and head over heels in love with watercolors. She started off with photography. At the age of 12, she became obsessed with documenting scenes from daily life with a camera. So she started off with that, continued taking lots of photographs, graduated with a master's degree in photography from the University of Brighton. And then she stumbled across watercolors by chance and was hooked immediately. She said that was about 5 years ago, and now she's a full-time watercolor illustrator although she does still take lots of photos. So she started learning better techniques with the help of various tutorials and sort of trial and error method, until she started noticing some progress in her work. So I think that's quite interesting, isn't it? Tools and materials, which we find in most of these art books, to be honest. We've got some techniques here: gradients, wet on wet, wet on dry, layering, highlights, bleeding, brush pressure. And we've got the warm colour wheel and the cool colour wheel. A little bit about analogous colours, complementary colours, and then mixing cool and warm primaries to make a black. A little bit around sketching, and she says that she's included sketch outline templates for all the projects at the end of the book. They will help you if you're not confident in drawing. So that's nice to know that they're at the end. There we go, here they are, they're all at the end of the book here. So project 1 is stripe pattern. Step 1, step 2, steps 3, step 4, step 5, and then this is where you can do your stripe pattern. So, or you could do it on a separate piece of paper or in a sketchbook, I guess, if you didn't want to do it in this book in particular. So circle pattern. So we're starting off very gently, and there is always the space for you to do yours. Let's just take a look at one that's a bit further up. So double coloured leaves and how to do those. Space for you to do your own. What we got here, a watermelon and space to do your own. We've got this green tree. So if you love step by step, and if you are quite happy to do yours in the book itself, then wow, what a great thing to take away with you. If you're not someone that likes to do en plein air or sketch things that are particularly around you, or maybe you might even find that some of the things in here are relevant to what you're seeing around you. But I think you get the gist of the idea. We've got the project that's step by step there, and then do your own. So I don't think any of these are hugely complex, but they're probably a great way to just spend a few minutes mindfully to maybe pick up a few techniques or ways of drawing things if it's not something that you're particularly confident about drawing. So there we are. Lots of nice projects in this 15-minute art watercolor book. So they're the two that I bought from Waterstones. And then we've got these. Yeah, how am I going to do that? Anyway, we've got these other ones that I picked up as well. So maybe there's something there that catches your eye that might go on your Christmas wish list, possibly. But I'm really happy with my latest book purchases. As you know, I'm just giving you what I call a flip through in case it's something that you want to maybe look into yourselves in a little bit more detail, rather than just you know, the couple of pages that we might see when we look on Amazon itself or other websites that sell books. So, okay, have a lovely morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. Let me know, are you going to be buying one of these? Are you going to give something a try? Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay calm. And I really hope to see you next time. Please give any of my videos a thumbs up if you can. It really helps YouTube to send it out to more people. And that would be really helpful if you could, as well as obviously subscribing. So thanks again, everybody, for being with me and joining me. Until next time, bye bye.